so far in this World Championship has definitely kind of surpassed Lemondogs and GamingGear both. GamingGear in the International Wildcard Tournament was a team that would kind of withstand the laning phase and then come in and win team fights. And Lemondogs, likewise, was one of the most conservative, slow-play teams in the European LCS with excessively strong laning phases, which is why I'm kind of excited for this matchup, because they have somewhat similar styles, and it will be an opportunity for them to kind of not get outpaced and kind of play their game. And the bans coming out here are already showing a little bit of flavor. The Aatrox ban, which had previously mainly only been a European pick, it's a rather European affair right here, and they're actually letting Zed through, which has been a pattern today. I really wonder if we're going to see the Riven counterpick. They're at least tooling with it.
It's funny how, I guess, influential or impressionable, as Doublelift said, that players
Everyone
are.
Here is,
exactly, right? We see the Kog'Maw. The Riven obviously isn't getting picked, but, you know, people weighing in on things, they see that that works now, so it may be thought to be picked up by somebody else because everything's getting banned out here, and it's going to have to be that spice, that variety that wins it.
The Riven's worked all right in lane so far, but I can't actually say that Faker's played incredibly in either of those Riven games.
This is true.
He was dying a few times, and the picks and bans in this game are kind of crazy when we consider the overall scope of this World Championship. The fact that Zed, Ahri, Corki, and Shen have all been getting through already. I know that Zed and Shen combined were already 100% pick or ban. Zed has been banned in the majority of the games, but they're really just kind of trading power picks with each other.
I like
at this
it.
point.
This is like super comfort coming in for these guys. We'll have to see what Nukeduck puts in for himself. It looks like everybody's getting their own choice here for Lemondogs on their side. We'll have to see what he decides. Right now, we got Tabzz on your screen.
Diana is good against Ahri. Yeah. It's something that we haven't seen that much of recently since Diana's kind of fallen off. But back when Diana was big, it was extremely successful. And it would also combo very well if they wanted to do any type of dive buddy or, you know, dive party, because they'd have Shen, Vi, and Diana if they wanted to go in and potentially kill DeadlyBrother's Corki. These are going to be very telling next few picks for Lemondogs, because even with the Vi, you're generally expecting an assassin type mid laner from Nukeduck, and considering that Fizz was banned away and that Zed and Ahri are already on GamingGear, Diana's kind of the one that he would have left if they decide to get it with their last pick.
All up to DeadlyBrother and Inspirro now, rather. We do have that AD carry on the board, so we're looking for support. We're looking for jungle coming out of GamingGear.
At least they can still play with the Teemo pick.
At least they can. Teemo plays. We will have to see what they decide to go with. Yeah, like you said, they have an immense amount of high priority picks, which makes me think that everybody is going to be trying to get kills in their lanes. The solo lanes, even if the duo lanes are going up against each other, it's going to be quite deadly. And those are my favorite duo lanes, the ones that'll tell you we'd rather match up 2v2 because we want to fight.
Yeah, those are the power duo lanes, the ones that want to just push extremely quickly. But with the Sona ban,
playing the crowd. With
the Sona ban, they're incapable of doing the Sona Corki lane that has had so much success so far in the World Championships. I like the fact here that GamingGear is going with a double assassin. It's a very similar look that Fnatic had yesterday when they were able to beat Samsung Galaxy Ozone, except Fnatic had Kassadin in the mid lane and a Zed in the top lane. They should still be able, GamingGear should still be able to do similar flank strategies here. Two can play that game, says Mithy. I can pick Teemo as well. See,
two Teemos.
You guys will have fun with this one. But really, to finish the point on the double assassin, GamingGear is going to be looking to flank these fights, which means if Lemondogs has strong enough straight-up initiation, they're going to be able to bypass that and not allow the assassin's flanking time.
20 seconds left on the clock. They're deciding here. Nukeduck could play the Zyra, but that's not going to happen. It's going to be the Kassadin mid lane. Looks like he will run teleport on that as well. Something we see from Europe a bit more than really any other region.
Yeah, the Kassadin is definitely a favorite of Xpeke, who Fnatic is first place currently on the other group. And we thought it was going to be an assassin for Nukeduck in the mid lane, basically to combo with Vi. The level 6 gank from Vi plus an assassin in mid lane is generally just instantaneous destruction of the enemy mid laner. It was either that or Diana, and they decided to go with Kassadin, which I think is a much more versatile pick overall for Lemondogs.
Yeah.
And knowing that GamingGear is a team that doesn't necessarily have crazy aggression in the early game laning phase, I think it's a better pick overall for Lemondogs.
And you got Zoro, where is he? Going on Shen. So he's really, actually, as they, you hear Crepo say, he's the one that kind of roam whenever he wants to, but now that he's on Shen, maybe he'll be stuck in the top lane on the island. We'll have to see what they can fare for each other. He is going to be up against, again, that Zed picked along with another AP carry, which is Ahri this time.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see.
I want to see that matchup, actually. Zorozero versus Zed in the top lane, just the ninja lore battle in a sense. But also because if Zorozero can't do his standard push up the lane and fall back, Supremacy in that lane is going to have actually a large impact on the mid lane as well, where, since it's an early game, Kassadin, Nukeduck is going to need a lot of help.
Well, Nukeduck usually gets a lot of help from Dexter, though.
Almost always.
Almost always. A bit of an extension of that mid lane. So as the teams are headed onto the Rift, let's quickly check out how the fans voted. According to LOLesports.com, 92% of you think that Lemondogs will win their second match here at Worlds, and the analysts pick Lemondogs as well.
Whenever it gets over 90%, it's always a little daunting to look at that list because having only the single digits on one team's vote means it's a very low percentage.
And this ups Lemondogs' percentage of being voted to win.
That is true, actually. Yeah. And in the past, when Lemondogs has been getting voted to win, as most teams that are underestimated all the time, as soon, it's this phenomenon I've witnessed across like all sports, as soon as an underdog team or a team that no one believes in gets believed in, they almost instantly disappoint. It's the strangest thing. You need to earn it over time. It can't
put too much faith in them, and it just puts too much weight on them overall. We'll have to see what these teams have for each other. The beginning of our fourth game of the day, Lemondogs versus GamingGear.EU, going out. Just wards to start, no fighting, and really nobody has even seen each other just yet, with Lemondogs looking to squeeze into the top part of that jungle soon.
We've seen a surprising amount of level 1 shenanigans so far in the World Championship. Stop spamming that recall, it's noisy. The rest of Lemondogs is going to probably try to move in here. NBS is doing the human scout right now, while the rest of Gaming Gear is kind of scattered amongst their red side. This, to me, actually shows that Gaming Gear is highly disorganized right now at level 1, whereas Lemondogs is actually executing a strategy here as they invade.
They do have 5 strong going in, which means they're pretty much going to hold this spot. Will they decide to go back and get something out of this? They have to choose that within the next few minutes here. They do pick down the pink, and that's going to be all they really wanted.
Yep. That means as well, since MBS saw them going in, Gaming Gear, what is their game here right now? Because Gaming Gear is undermanned in the first invade, so they're blind right now as well. Since they don't have pink wards down, they have no idea if they got spotted coming in here. And they also have no idea whether Lemondogs went back to base or not. This is an extremely dangerous blue buff right now for Gaming Gear. As, the rest of Lemondogs just pushing it back. This could very well set Alunir really far back in the jungle. They're probably going to fight over this.
And this is going to be hard for him. It appears like they're going to put their solo lanes on the outside unless we see Zed and MBS going towards that mid lane. Right now they're all kind of huddling together so they can get the aggression on this, but there's a bit of time being wasted here.
Part of me really wants him to just fight right now because it's 4-on-4. They're clearly wanting to fight over this blue buff. No one is getting lane experience.
Well, this is
the dance.
So right now, this is going to force the smite. This is pretty much Gaming Gear's getting out of this.
It's a smite race at this point. Lemondogs can't clear the ward that is in their blue buff right now.
That is one healthy golem.
How long are they going to do this for, Riv?
Quite a bit of time.
Oh, there's one.
Do-si-do. One of the small ones is down. Mazzerin's quite low. We can see Zoro went hard in that top lane.
Hey, guys.
How we doing? Coming in on 3 minutes on the clock. Those standards, the reason why lawn darts are illegal. Oh, a little bit of damage here. Nukeduck from the bottom lane, but he's got eyes on floating over his head, so they're going to be going in on this one. That blue buff is highly coveted and grabbed away by Dexter, it seems. Mazzerin in the top lane. One last key strike, and it goes to Zoro.
How does something like that happen, Riv? Because that's a level 2 Shen, not known for his crazy level 2 kill
level
potential.
2 all in.
Yeah, that's what Shen does. He had the Doran shield. That is the aggressive item right there. But really,
absolutely,
Lemondogs was able to get the smite away after an extremely extended starefest at the blue buff right there. That basically gives Lemondogs an incredible start. I feel like what actually happened in the top lane, Mazzerin, since he is kind of the leader of Gaming Gear, may have been spending too much attention worrying about what was happening on the other side of the map and not dealing with his own business. And that's why Zorozero was able to kind of
wondering
kill him
if
and
he needed
surprise
to
him.
be present.
Exactly. He was just thinking too much and probably trying to make calls halfway across the map.
All right, right, so Alunir now knowing he has the ward on him. Lemondogs placing this chess piece very far ahead, minutes ahead right now. It looks like they'll be able to clean this one up. No, the red buff stops ticking, and it looks like they won't get the slow, but they are going to still aggress. They have gone with the 1-2-1 on the split. Those solo laners in the long lanes. Let's see if the duos here can get this one back. Looks like they are able to grab. No, Dexter. Dexter ran off with it. So he gets everything.
Smited it away because Alunir was out of the business and Dexter had waited long enough from the first blue buff they took to get the steal. It's actually quite rare nowadays that we see a team able to take both blue buffs in the early game. They're also able to get the timer on that blue buff, so they know around 9 minutes and 25 seconds or so that blue buff is going to be up again. And I would actually kind of expect a re-invade, because at that point, Zorozero will actually have his stand united as well, so they're going to be able to have that extra skirmish presence throughout the map.
And we just saw Tabzz hitting level 2 in mid lane there. Level 2 at 5 minutes in, which just goes to show the chaotic movement that has already happened in this game. With those AD carry supports middle, it looks like Gaming Gear is going to be pressuring up. Mazzerin definitely not running any armor, and you can see the giant health bars there sitting in his HP spot, so he can only take a few shots. Zoro definitely has the 1v1 in this lane.
Yeah, I wonder what Zorozero is going to be rushing here. Probably a Spirit Visage. It is a little strange here how Gaming Gear has decided to go Corki Lulu in the mid lane, and here comes a gank from Dexter.
Oh dear, that's not good. DeadlyBrother trying to get out. He may be just that, but it looks like they focus on Inspirro now, and they're able to get out of this one alive. Oh no, he gets the condemn. He walks straight for the turret. Tabzz gets a hit up. The Q as well. They trade off on that one.
That exhaust from Inspirro was incredibly timely. It seemed like DeadlyBrother was completely dead to rights, and then it kind of baited Tabzz to go a little bit too far. Inspirro stuck around after the exhaust because he was honestly a little out of position as he was running away. Allowed him to get killed against the turret, but then obviously Alunir, because that fight was so long, had enough time to close in, pick up a kill back.
Well, it looks like they don't really like what's been happening. Mazzerin says there needs to be a change of plans here. I'm going mid, you guys are going to the top lane. So DeadlyBrother and Inspirro going to start heading up in this face-off against Zorozero. I don't think he's going to have too much trouble in that lane. He's already accrued 34 to the 26 CS of the matchup they had before, so he's just got to hold steady.
Yeah, Mazzerin was not going to do much against Zorozero, especially with that health crystal kind of tipping off that Zorozero was soon going to become even more of a pain for Mazzerin's Ahri. And also, if you're playing Ahri, you need to be in the mid lane so you have the ability to roam around the map and make some plays.
That's as sure as Zorozero feels about himself, engaging into 2v1 and really not taking too much damage. Dexter now towards the bottom lane, a level 6 NBS here. Does have that escape for himself, but he may try to just poke in Alunir on the side. Dexter sees him, and they go back to safety.
Dexter needs to hit level 6 to have a bigger impact on this game. He's actually shut down Alunir quite substantially, but Alunir's Jarvan got something back when they were able to pick up that kill. We very well may have something here. No, they're going to back away in the side lanes. But this game, actually, Riv, is incredibly close. Coming into the game, Gaming Gear has yet to pick up a win, but surprisingly, Lemondogs has only had one win in the entire World Championship. And despite the early advantages that Lemondogs was able to take, with Zorozero 1v1ing Mazzerin in the top lane, and with Dexter winning the Smite War at his own blue buff, Gaming Gear is really hanging in there. And if we look at the way Gaming Gear won games during the International Wildcard Tournament, it was actually by sticking around, sometimes even losing the laning phase slightly, and then making plays in teamfights. So by those accounts, Gaming Gear is actually on track in this game.
It's not that they know to stop it right away, but they do know how to just kind of clog up what's happening, what's going wrong. With this lane switch, that's kind of how they stalled out the kills going on. They got kind of re-control of their jungle that was being swiped out by Dexter. So we'll have to see if Lemondogs can continue the pressure. NBS still holding on to that red pot in the bottom lane, a little bit for the aggression, a little bit also to save his butt if he gets into a bad situation. But we also have Nukeduck now going back to the mid lane versus Mazzerin.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how that mid lane actually plays out, knowing that Nukeduck and Dexter are both level 6. We already saw one attempted approach where Dexter camped right behind that top left wall in the mid lane, and he actually didn't Vault Breaker into range to land Assault and Battery onto Mazzerin. Mazzerin didn't even have to burn Ahri's Spirit Rush to escape. That is effectively the guaranteed gank for Lemondogs, and it means Mazzerin has to play like extremely scared.
Yes.
There's a word for that, but it is not a friendly place to be in.
We can see him returning to lane. Right now we have Alunir backing in the jungle. Not too much. That's not coordination, but you can see that Gaming Gear is setting themselves up. They're not exactly in the position to start making these impact plays just yet. The wards in the favor of Lemondogs towards Dragon and their side of the jungle. You can see the aggression here from the bottom lane. Lemondogs not having any problem keeping this lane pushed.
No, and there's that gank in the mid lane we talked about.
Ooh, Mazzerin is holding down to the ulti, making sure he gets out, but they're trying to get some damage in as well. Good offense is also a good defense.
Hey, when that gank doesn't work in mid lane, that's fantastic for Gaming Gear,
punish.
once again. Dexter's big ultimate is down. The big thing here, though, is they're trying to get a little bit back, knowing they've taken Mazzerin so low. They're trying to steal that blue buff away. It's another smite war if they get to that. Alunir does not have as much backup. Zed is coming in, though.
He is always invited to a party he doesn't want to be in right now. The blue buff also going very low. Again, taken out there by Dexter, and it looks like they're going to start heading towards Mazzerin. The ultimate is canceled. That bottom lane, again, condemned against the wall. Tabzz is just pinning people up in this lane.
There is still a lot of dancing going around. We saw the repeated blue buff
flash.
invade. Oh, missile just barely grazing the back there. Mithy could not finish him off. But the delayed blue buff and steal from Lemondogs did come through. But that still has to be transitioned into an advantage. It stops Mazzerin from getting a blue buff, which should give Nukeduck a little bit of an edge here coming up in the mid lane. But the lead has not actually shown itself yet, knowing the game is still only a couple of hundred gold.
You're right.
Lemondogs.
They're doing the things that affects them. They've stolen Alunir's first blue, the second blue for Mazzerin, who had a tough time in the top lane. So they're working on it, but the objective's not there to be grabbed yet. They may try after this one. Can't do it as a dragon, but Inspirro going to take some good damage here. Third bolt is going to be shielded off a bit by the damage. And here from the top lane, Alunir looking like he could go in. 2 shots, the barrier's off. Alunir from the side, low on mana, makes it count with just the Cataclysm. He walks it in for sure secured kill.
We'll call that Tabzz being a bit of a greed boy right there, because he had no reason to go in for that kill. He went completely past his safety net. They had no pink ward control in the tri-brush where Alunir came through, and he paid for it. That's his second death of the game, and both of his deaths have actually came from him overcommitting.
And Zorozero is just having a time of his life in this top lane, really not finding anything that's going to push him out, 83 to 70. So good CS kept up by NBS, and what happened with the lane swaps earlier and the chaos we've been seeing. 12 minutes in, 2-2 on the kills, and the gold, like we've been saying, is pretty much even. There's a lot happening, but the objectives are not falling after those happenings.
No, both these teams are playing pretty slow, and this is actually, I think, one of the reasons they've been outpaced so far at the World Championship is because neither Lemondogs or Gaming Gear really press the issue on their opponents.
Right.
And we're seeing a very similar play style right here. NBS, though, trying to go in on Zorozero. This is going to be an exciting matchup.
He's big. There's quite a minion wave he's got to fight in as well. We got the TP from Nukeduck in. The flash from NBS. He says, I can rift too. Gets himself to safety.
Dippity-doo-dah-day. He just gets out of there. Nukeduck burns another teleport. And he kind of needs to make an impact at this point in the game. Yesterday when we saw Peke's Kassadin, Peke stood even in the game until about this point where he had the Tear of the Goddess and the Catalyst of the Protector. And then I think he picked up about 6 kills within a 3-minute span because Fnatic was just crazy and all over the map like that. Knowing Nukeduck's teleport is down, I wonder really how crazy he can get here.
And it looks like Lemondogs will start to crack this one open in the top lane if they can get that turret. But the bottom lane is being pressured out, and they're more than happy to have that happen. But they're not going to be able to save that turret. Looks like Gaming Gear is going to answer back.
Even push across the board, and it evens out the gold yet again. I really got to hand it to Gaming Gear here. Keeping the gold even against Lemondogs, who were looked at as potentially the best team in Europe coming in, knowing that Lemondogs was the #2 seed in the European LCS and also had the best record in the regular season, means a lot. This dragon fight coming up, though, could definitely swing the game in either direction.
This is very big, and it's what needed to happen. Gaming Gear trying to get ahead in this one. Dexter is full force onto DeadlyBrother. They've actually gone split side onto him now, and they're forced to watch him go down. Lemondogs from the top, rotation to Dragon. Now get that covered.
Lemondogs just simply outnumbered Gaming Gear right there. With NBS top lane, GamingGear was positioned around the Dragon, hoping that they would be able to sneak it before Lemondogs would come in. That's what that pink ward is on top of Dragon for. They were hoping that Lemondogs would not come and fight them, because if they did, it would be a 5v4. And you don't necessarily run from Vi and Kassadin when they're chasing you down. That really punishes GamingGear. At least, though, NBS was left alone in the top lane and got the majority of that turret.
That one is surely prepped for him to be taking it down to open up the map a little bit more here for GamingGear. It's something that they need. It's going to be mid-turret focus after that, which will be good. They can start to squeeze up these lanes because their team fight is actually pretty good for them to come in. They have that pick-off assassination, but they also have to be careful because they're chasing that team of disengage, shields, and you can really get tunneled into chasing a team like that. Yeah,
the team fight phase in this game is actually going to revolve heavily around, it seems silly to say, but who's ahead beforehand. Only because GamingGear has only Alunir as their main tank, and then the rest of it is about flank. When, once again, we saw Fnatic play double assassin yesterday. I'm going to keep referencing this because it's our best point of reference. Soaz was able to sneak around the back of the fight because the rest of the team was strong enough to hold them off. But if GamingGear falls behind or Alunir becomes too weak to actually be that tank, NBS will never have the ability or time to go around the sides of fights, because Lemondogs will just run straight into GamingGear and through them. And if Lemondogs can effectively catch GamingGear's assassins together, the fights will be over effectively before they start.
I guess it's what makes it such a composition that needs to be ahead early, because if you can't do what you need to and they don't respect your damage of all of those high-impact lanes, they're just going to run into you like they say. Dexter trying to put a little bit of fear into his enemy. Looks like he's just going to stand on the outside here. Thinks may be able to get some damage onto Inspirro, but the team too closely huddled together will be able to stay safe. Nukeduck in the bottom lane. We'll see. Check out some stock on the CS. 107 to 111. Ari versus Kassadin. Is Nukeduck a little bit behind on that, but he has finished the rod over in Athene's.
Yeah, I mean, if you come into a game and you're in a Kassadin versus Ari matchup, and you tell the guy it's 16 minutes, you are going to not be dead, and you're going to be 8 minion farm behind Ari. You take it immediately. Yeah. Because that is actually a good start for Kassadin in the overall context of the game. Nukeduck will look to be stronger later on here. The Rod of Ages completion by Nukeduck is extremely normal for a Kassadin build. We have seen times... Oh, this is actually Zorozero getting ganked.
Here is Zoro, goes in, the death mark goes down. Can they finish up a little bit of damage on top of that? They do have the red buff. He's able to flash out of that one. The slow has worn off of him. They don't get the extra one there. It looks like he's going to be able to get himself out of this one quite clean. I don't know if they fight. The turret's quite low. They could have gone for that.
That gank at least is going to allow them to secure the turret, because Zorozero is not going to stick around for another spell rotation from GamingGear at that turret. And call me a liar, but he's actually sticking around here. This is trouble. Yeah, he's out. He's not
getting that HP back from the Vorpal Blades, but he does stay safe in that one. So the turret goes down. They pretty much keep him in lane too, but he's going to be able to soak up that experience. So they really don't hurt him too much. 3-2 on the kills. Nukeduck looking to take away some of the jungle camps here, as we may see our first real engagement, or at least Lemondogs trying to pressure that mid lane. Maybe not.
It might be the next. The thing is, these are two teams that throughout the World Championships have not taken initiative, and that's why we're seeing them have this farm out against each other right now. They're really just waiting until they're comfortable, or they're hoping to play a reactive game instead of a proactive game. There's been a few proactive moves that Lemondogs has tried to pull off, with Nukeduck teleporting in or with Zorozero Shen ulting on top of Vi, but even all of those have only resulted in very minimal overall gains. I also look at the build path of Zorozero in the top lane here, and the Sunfire Cape being completed was actually extremely key in him staying alive against Alunir and NBS, because initially we were thinking he was going to rush the Spirit Visage, but because Mazzerin has completely abandoned that lane, he very quickly and nimbly changed paths to Sunfire Cape, and because he's been able to get the Sunfire Cape, he also provides us a consistent split push threat right now, which is actually one of the big reasons Lemondogs has pulled 1,000 gold ahead.
Nukeduck still happy to sit in the bottom lane. We do have to remember, Lemondogs across the map is still a very scary thing. They're Stand United and Teleport. GamingGear across the map is them slowing the game down, really trying to farm this one up, because they're not going to be able to get to that fight as fast as Lemondogs. So anytime we see Gaming Gear kind of pushing out here, like you said, it's reactive. They're trying to adapt to what Lemondogs is doing. And we kind of saw that with the Dragon. You know, Lemondogs went top, so Gaming Gear said, yeah, we got turret and Dragon.
Yeah.
But Lemondogs reacted faster.
I'm actually very curious to see how the rest of this game plays out, because I actually haven't seen Gaming Gear play this well all throughout the World Championship. Even though they're not making big plays necessarily, their counter moves, like when Lemondogs does take the Dragon and kind of catch Gaming Gear off guard, are actually making them some progress. MBS stayed top lane, got the turret. Their mid laner Mazzerin has played well to avoid Vi Kassadin ganks, which are probably close to the deadliest ganks in the game. Maybe Vi Zed is a little bit more deadly, as Lemondogs knows very well when TSM played it against them. It's still the closest I've seen Gaming Gear be here at 20 minutes, and now they might actually be looking to make a big play with 4 people stacked in the mid lane.
Gaming Gear feeling that eyes on the map makes them safe here. We may see the 3rd turret go down for Lemondogs. Dexter comes in and right onto MBS. Zed goes in onto Mithy, though. The support disengaged, who was in the back of the line, getting hit up quite hard there. Right back into the fight, and it's going to be Tabzz taking down NBS.
And it seemed a little crazy of Dexter to go in there, but the big execution moment there for Lemondogs is Mithy landed an exhaust onto NBS right before he tried to use Deathmark. So Zed did almost no damage, and now this could be Dragon number 2 for Lemondogs. Alunir is in the mid lane, unable to steal.
Ooh, Spyro a little too close for comfort there. Zorozero just on the other side. That is going to be a very dead Lulu. Zoro picking himself up a 2nd kill of the game.
And that's actually fairly typical Lemondogs play here. We're 20 minutes into the game, and their laning has transitioned them into their first core set of items. Of course, Sunfire Cape, Rod of Ages, and Blade of the Ruined King if we go top, mid, 80 carry. Then they're able to get the quick little fight win and immediately transition into an objective or 2. 4,000 gold lead is a big jump ahead in this game that was very close a couple of minutes ago.
Lots of pings going down here. Gaming Gear playing us a song on the minimap. Will they be able to activate anything out of this, though? Tabzz is going to hook himself up here. May get caught by a charm. No, he keeps safe, hip to hip with Mithy.
Kassadin's teleporting in.
There he is. Below it, blue buff. They don't know that he came in. They do not have wards on that. They're going to be walking right into him. Mazzerin gets the silence on. DeadlyBrother trying to put on the Gatling, and it's going to be all about Alunir with the Cataclysm. Will they be able to turn this around? Mithy falls as Mazzerin finds himself a kill. DeadlyBrother is the focus, though, and they got perfect lockdown on him. Dexter's over the wall, and they have a 2v2 now on the side of the river. Alunir looks like he's going down as MBS gets 1v1 by Vayne. They continue to go on to the fight as Alunir chased by Dexter. They split off once more, knowing it's the safest bet, but both of them look to go down.
This fight, Rib, is chaos. Everyone is so low on mana and resources right now. Alunir is going to try to execute himself, but I don't think it's been long enough.
Oh.
Doesn't matter. Zorozero.
That's close.
Flies in. It actually was kind of close.
Very extended fight that we saw in that one. It shows kind of the closeness of the game and where the players are. People now going back to buy are going to have the items that would have zeroed each other out, but there was a lot of, only 25% damage here and there from full spell reels.
Yeah.
It's going to be different now.
It also turned into an extremely scattered fight,
Yeah.
only because the amount of assassins we have in this game. NBS and Mazzerin are never going to have a traditional team fight in the sense of clean engaging and comboing together. Especially when they're on the defensive, because everyone on Gaming Gear could just split up into many different ways of running away. And then likewise, Lemondogs expended all of their mana chasing them down. Nukeduck and Dexter were both completely spent by the end of that. And it was actually very surprising to me when Zorozero still had his flash up at the end of that fight to secure the kill when Alunir tried to execute himself on that inner turret.
Bit of a swing there in kills. 8-3 now coming up for Lemondogs. They have a for sure hold on these team fights as they come in. Looking at a few core items now as that Archangels is finished up with a Rod of Ages now for Nukeduck. The Triforce coming out onto Zorozero instead of a build for the Blade of the Rune King that we've seen some Shen's building now, that Triforce. It's been good in 3.11 for a lot of people.
I think we're going to see more Triforce Shen instead of Blade of the Rune King if the option happens. And Shens will generally build that offensive item if they're going really far ahead in a game. And since Zorozero is 304, right after that first blood on Mazzerin, he's really just taking it from that point on. He's going to continue to build offensive and be a very large threat. That turret's not going to help you, Mazzerin.
Don't cast your spells. You're just going to give him Force Pulse. It's more damage. Mazzerin, get out of there. Oh, he gets the Assault Battery all the way locked down. Can he break the vault? No, Mazzerin gets the Lulu ultimate. Wild Growth comes on. Dexter back into the fight, but here comes Lemondogs. They've been called in and the cavalry arrives. Tabzz onto Alunir. The Tabzz rockets going out, and he gets the proc of the Silver Bolt. 10-3 on the kills, a 6,000 gold lead, and Zoro's in the top lane without any pressure.
Yeah, we got to remember, that was a 4v5. Mazzerin was caught out of position at the start, and it meant the rest of Gaming Gear was trying to collapse in a round. But like we said, if Lemondogs got ahead, the team fights would not be clean for Gaming Gear. Lemondogs could just go through everywhere they want. NBS was unprotected, the flank did not work. He got focused down, and then the rest of Lemondogs could just push through for more.
Lemondogs looking to really pad their pockets on this one, getting a bit of gold out of this globally for themselves. They pick up the 5th turret now of Gaming Gear's side. If Tabzz looks like he does, no, he's going to back off on this one. DeadlyBrother can still put out some damage with that Triforce, and it will be respected for now. We get LD to back, and we'll see what they put in their inventories as they go for what could be final push here, as they have quite a strong lead that's swayed towards that 20-minute mark.
And how long until Nukeduck buys boots? Right now, actually. Damn. He didn't have boots 24 minutes into the game.
He heard you.
He had rushed Rod of Ages and Archangel's Staff. And I was curious, since Kassadin can hop around so much, and Nukeduck was actually moving around fairly well, if he'd go for the magic penetration. But he decides to be boring. He picks him up real quickly, and now he's back in the base. The boots helping him get there to save the turret.
Oh, right back on to DeadlyBrother. Locked out there, the barrier very early, but here comes Zorozero as well. Everybody getting a piece of that one. And Lemondogs working very well together.
Yeah, this is once the Kassadin gets going.
Yep.
7 minutes ago, Nukeduck didn't have many kills. He was 0-0-1, sitting on a tier and a Rod of Ages. That's the point you don't actually want Kassadin to get to if you haven't pushed him behind at that point in the game yet. It's allowing him to jump around the map, control, and assassinate Gaming Gear.
And it was, you know, from the get-go, like we said, that first chess piece moved into place by Dexter, always pressuring the Blues here, allows them to continuously pressure, you know. Alunir wasn't able to come back onto Kassadin, and as you would want your jungler to help mid lane. And the swap in the lanes early game, I think, hurt Gaming Gear a little bit.
Yeah, I actually think very early on, Zorozero being able to kill Mazzerin and the subsequent lane swapping that created definitely hurt Gaming Gear a little bit. But honestly, Gaming Gear stuck around in this game for quite a long time, and it's actually the mid-game execution here that is mostly to credit Lemondogs with their victory. The way that they countered Gaming Gear's pushes in the mid lane, Dexter initiating time and time again, when Gaming Gear was not able to set up any flank maneuvers with their double assassins, has really swung it at this point. And now, even if Gaming Gear did pull off a successful flank, it still might not be successful just because of the farm advantage the rest of Lemondogs has accumulated.
Right, at this point, you can consider the game in almost, you know, time and minutes. It's going to be a few fights. The next 10, 15 minutes have to go by. And that's really hard to do. It's hard to keep your team in that mentality. Keep reminding everybody this is what we need to do. Because when the fight, you know, presents itself, it's kind of what you want to do all the time, and you fall right into it.
And one thing that is actually extremely in Lemondogs' favor this game, outside of the 10,000 gold, is the experience. We've mentioned a couple times in the past that gold in stats per level is between 400 and 700 gold, depending on what character you're playing. Nukeduck escapes out here as on a level 17 Kassadin. His mid lane matchup, Mazzerin, is level 15 on Ahri right now. That could be 1,000 gold right there. You look up and down the board, almost everyone on Gaming Gear, Zorozero versus MBS, or Dexter versus Alunir, are 2 levels ahead. That's nearly 1,500 gold, or sorry, about 1,200 gold per person on top of the gold lead that we already have built on Lemondogs. It's one of the reasons Gaming Gear is so hopeless and helpless right now, unless they can catch up in the experience as well as the gold.
And it's big, Jat. A lot of those 2-level leads are that level 16, that final click you need of the ulti. Looks like they go to engage but back off. They know when they're a little too in over their head.
Yeah, and all that we just talked about doesn't even take into account the damage you get from skilling up your action.
Yeah.
It's tough times right here. I'm seeing right there MBS was unable to duel Zorozero. Surprise!
Stop, drop, and roll.
Didn't do it.
Didn't. He tried to. Well, if you run fast enough, you can kind of put yourself out, but it doesn't work all the time.
Have you tried that before?
No, thank
I've never
God
been
I
on
haven't.
fire trying to run away personally.
Nope, don't try it at home either. 9,000 in the lead, actually 11, because I can count. We have about 10,500 gold there. 12-3 on the scoreboard as we come up to about 30 minutes on this one. It's been Lemondogs in full control after about that 15-minute mark. Gaming Gear was able to hold themselves in. Great play by Nukeduck on Cassidy in middle. The roam they got out of that teleport really swayed a lot of fights. And now the dance for this does not leave Gaming Gear in any position to really contest.
Yeah, this is a very solo dance right here for Lemondogs. They're practicing their moves right now. Being able to get the Baron buff down. Nukeduck was not even there. He had his teleport in case anyone came to contest. But Lemondogs actually had fairly minimal ward control inside the Gaming Gear jungler just to check if Gaming Gear was coming in. And Inspirro, that's a bad place to be clearing wards.
He throws down the growth. He knows what the plant lady's all about. Tries to get himself out. Oh, against the wall. He gets condemned. Trying to get out of this one, but I don't think it's going to work.
The plant actually got the last hit on that one.
Yep.
And this means the rest of Lemondogs is going to be looking, I think, to end this game very quickly.
Ooh.
Nukeduck pops his shield and gets another one.
Seraph Embrace into stand united. 100-0 in just under 2.5 seconds. Mazzerin looking to go down here. 15 to 2 level 18s that want to party with him.
And the rest of Lemondogs flashing into the base.
There it is, going in on to Corky. They easily take him down. Tabzz just throwing out the silver bolts. Alunir trying to do what he can, gets the Cataclysm on to cheekily get himself back into base and into safety, but the inhibitors taking quite a bit of damage right now for Gaming Gear.
Yeah, and seemingly Lemondogs flipped a switch at this point. They were up substantially, and now it looks more than insurmountable. One inhibitor, second on the way, still 3 people dead for Gaming Gear, and a Baron on all 5 people.
I feel like Nukeduck got that Archangels and his boots finally late in the game, and told the team felt a lot safer, felt a lot stronger, and their initiations just came full force, one after the other. Right now, still not really respecting what GG has in the base since they're all down and respawning, but they try to get some more damage on these turrets.
And Nukeduck is having a very good game on Cassidy
Absolutely.
right now. He's had a very rough World Championships, and it should not reflect badly on him as a player, just knowing the mids he has to be against.
We said this was a mid-oriented tournament.
Yeah, Cool from OMG, as well as Faker, potentially the most hyped up and skilled mid in the world. He's very much living up to a lot of the hype we had given for Faker coming into this. And Nukeduck actually played pretty well in the majority of those games, and Nukeduck is relied on heavily to carry for Lemondogs, and just because Lemondogs as a team was not able to do that doesn't mean Nukeduck should be getting hatred for it. This is an example of a very good game for Nukeduck. One of the things he does so well is when he's on Assassins, he's able to still out-farm everyone else, and he's done just that on Cassidy. 245
Kind of makes those
CS.
matchups work.
Yep.
You don't know how. NBS taking some damage. The charm goes in, but there it is. We were talking about it in Champion Select, the dive buddies, and they go right into the deep end on that one. They have to reconsider for just a quick second, though.
And Lemondogs is just kind of going in, maybe a little bit out there, not able to dive all the way because Gaming Gear is just playing so passively right
There's
now.
the end taunt, the dive buddy-esque composition once again. Nukeduck all the way deep here, throws it down. He's going to Rift Walk out of this one, get that regen from the Baron buff, and he should outlive this. Dexter comes in to be the meat shield. Tabzz throwing himself in the fire as well. Zoro almost getting hit up by the fountain. It looks like they got the Nexus in their eyes. Looks like they got the victory as well to go under the belt.
Nukeduck using all of his active spells right there, including the teleport. Nexus going down. Looks like Lemondogs picks up a clean and decisive victory.
Very well played there. Very slow in the early game. You could see that both teams giving each other the respect that was required. And once they found that item threshold, the 15 minutes, they got the Triforce on Shen. They got a lot of things in their pocket. They knew they were in that. They're in the lead, and it's not something we see very often, but they took control.
Shen actually ended up building a Blade of the Ruined King.
Finally.
And a Triforce on Shen because he felt happy for the damage, but smiles all around for Gaming Gear as well. They know the situation they're in. They're still trying to get wins, and despite the ending of that game, Gaming Gear did stick around fairly well. The playstyle matchup between Lemondogs was very similar between these two teams, and it turned out in the end, Lemondogs just played the mid-game better. They executed a couple fights better and took their lead from there. being so assassin-based on both sides means the game is going to swing like that.
And it was fun to watch, too, because, like we said, both teams got pretty high priority
I like
picks
the
going
level
into that one.
where the four of them just kind of stared at each other.
5-minute blue buff.
Yeah.
We're going in and out. Absolutely amazing game. We still have one more to go on the day. It's OMG versus SKT, so pretty sure everybody's hyped for that one.
TSM versus
Or
OMG
TSM,
is
thank
going to
you.
be the big
OMG.
one. Because,
Wow.
I mean,
my brain is in it.
mathematically,
TSM.
TSM is still
Right.
alive, so stick around for that one.
Absolutely.